outside at the Garden. It's a party out there, legit block party. But people are excited because there's WNBA basketball tonight over at the Garden. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, they take on the Brendan Glashines, which I like to call them, but the Connecticut Sun. And again, this is Caitlin Clark, one of the biggest names in all of basketball, men, women, you name it, that will be in attendance tonight, and it's over at TD Garden. So if you're on your way there, you want to react to it, you certainly can. But I wanted to just mention a couple of things here. The last few weeks have been very good for the city of Boston when it comes to, outside of Boston attractions, right? Say what you want, but the Savannah Bananas were a big deal, and it was July 4th weekend, and it sold out for back-to-back nights. And people loved it. It sold out. It went viral. It was social media. You name it. It was huge. Lionel Messi was in town last week. It was a big event. Almost sold out, but I had a chance to watch the entire thing on Apple TV, which streamed absolutely fantastic. So you got the Bananas, Lionel Messi, and tonight you'll get Caitlin Clark. I mean, these are some of the, and I'm just sticking with Messi and Clark. Messi is one of the biggest athletes in the entire world. But Caitlin Clark has changed what basketball is from her time at Iowa to being drafted in the WNBA draft. She struggled a bit because of her injuries, but polarizing figure. Some people don't like her personally in the WNBA, but you should be thanking her if you're a player in the WNBA, because how do you like those jets and those nice hotel rooms and the nice jersey sales and the card sales that are out there? So at least wanted to just mention that off the bat. But if you're heading in, I am kind of interested. Your thoughts. Are you excited for Caitlin Clark tonight? You can certainly do that at 617-779-0985. It's also the MLB All-Star game tonight. Of course, you're here, Garvin, for that.
I kind of forgot that the MLB All-Star game was this evening, immediately after they've just concluded the Home Run Derby.
Well, I watched the Home Run Derby last night.
So did I.
And the Big Dumper. Who I bet. Ka-ching!
You know who I liked?
Oh, the man who lost by an inch?
I liked, I was on Brent Rooker, and I was just kind of going, does anybody realize it's called a home run derby? They have banged out Truist Park.
Yes.
There are people, Joe, in 2025 that paid money and parking and tickets and concessions, and they loaded up the family, and they went to the ballpark to watch guys in 2025 hit home runs. And then when there was an opportunity for two guys to hit more home runs, they went, nope,
we're going to make it a game of interest.
Shut up and move on. I couldn't believe it.
They went to analytics, you're telling me?
This is the graph that the afternoon show yells about. They're right. I get it now. The home run derby, the nerds have won. The StatCast people have won an inch. We're going by an inch. And I'm not even mad. Yes, I had Brent Rooker, of course, but I just couldn't understand. It's a derby. Who would be like, no, I think I've seen enough home runs. Thank you. Can we move this right along? No. Joe, there's people in 2025. They're there. They want to see home runs. And they said, you know what? The people... they get less home runs. I couldn't believe it. And I'm obviously still bothered by it.
Well, that's the voice of Ryan Garvin in tonight for Skaz, who's out. Not sure what the status is on that, but Skaz, of course, we love you, buddy. Street Team Joe's here tonight. He's fully in. I can see him back there. He's already changed his shirt. We were sweaty. It was a hot day. It was very hot out there.
That's half the reason I came in tonight. My air conditioner doesn't work. I'm like, it's beautiful in here.
Oh, that's not good. So, again, you can react to anything. My leadoff take is this. And, of course, opening take presented by Super Service Today, Massachusetts' #1 provider for residential, commercial, plumbing, heating, cooling, and drain cleaning day or night, always done right. Visit superservicetoday.com. My opening take is this. Did you see what the Jets did today?
Spending money.
Sauce Gardner. Yesterday it was Garrett Wilson. I pose a question. What is the Patriots version of Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson? And when I think about it, they don't have one at wide receiver. They don't have one. The Jets are building around 2 young players, one on offense, one on defense. If you want to sell me that it's Drake May and Christian Gonzalez, I will push back. What is the Patriots version of Garrett Wilson, Christian Gonzalez? They don't have one. Now, there's a lot of layers to this. You could tell me maybe it's Kyle Williams. Maybe it's Pop Douglas. I'm not going there because I don't think they are. At least I don't know about Williams yet. And it might be Stephon Diggs, but you know what? I'm talking young, cost-controlled, got paid, you drafted, developed, etc. The Jets have something the Patriots don't. Facts. That's how we work on the show. In fact, here's the other question that I pose. Will the Patriots pay Christian Gonzalez as the Jets paid Sauce Gardner? Because there's some big money out there. Did you see Derek Stingley? See the money he got? Right? So when you think about it, would the Patriots actually pay a top quarterback $25 to $30 million in a year? I want people to think about that for a second. This is why they have to. The Patriots need to show the rest of the league that they will pay players. They need to show the rest of the team that they will pay players. I keep saying this over and over. I work on so many other shows, so I can't do my pitch on some of these other shows. But let me tell you, when people ask me, hey, Joe, are you more concerned about the offense or the defense this year? I don't care. What I care about more for the Patriots in 2025 is becoming attractive. Nobody wants to play for you. Nobody. It took Stephon Diggs to take some sort of deal with extra money, but all sorts of clauses and whatever in there. The Patriots need to become attractive this year. Whether it's Drake May ascending, whether it's the offensive line playing well, or even Stephon Diggs playing well and then getting some sort of an extension. I don't know. Maybe some of the guys that they signed this year in free agency. Whatever. The Patriots don't have a Garrett Wilson. They might have a Sauce Gardner. Will they pay him? They better. Because if they pay him, think of the domino effect. Oh, wow, Patriots are actually paying some money, huh? Well, they drafted a guy, they really like him, and they paid him. Wow, it's great. It's great. While the rest of the league goes, are the Patriots back? Are the Patriots spending money again? Oh, they just spent money in free agency this year. The Jets still, and I can't believe I'm saying this today, but it's fact. The Jets have something the Patriots don't. A young offensive wide receiver, a weapon, and a young defensive player that has been really good. And maybe in Aaron Glenn's defense, he can ascend. But I ask you, Patriots fans, will the Patriots pay Gonzalez? A, and B, I say that they have to show the rest of the league, show the players, show the Patriots team itself that they're serious about winning football games again. And when they win football games, they become more attractive. So if you're going to ask me on another show that isn't mine, Joe, what's the number one thing this year? It's about becoming attractive, becoming a destination, because right now, the Patriots are not that. Leadoff take presented by Super Service today, Massachusetts' #1 provider for residential, commercial plumbing, heating, cooling, and drain cleaning day or night, always done right. We'll take a quick break. I'm Joe Murray. Line up your phone calls. We can talk about anything tonight as we're here until 8 o'clock on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Do you suffer from projectile dysfunction? That's when there's something stuck in your drains and pipes causing a backup. Drains by James can get you unclogged and feeling free again. Drains by James. They give a poop about your pipes. DrainsByJames.com.
You've got to try the new burgers at the Nines. Bigger, bolder, and beefier. Our half-pound, 100% American Angus beef is sure to please. Try the new bourbon onion burger and get more ang for your buck. You gotta love the Nines.
It's warm outside, but sizzling inside BJ's Wholesale Club with red-hot summer savings. Get scorching weekly deals like cherries for $1.99 a pound and $1 off green grapes and corn with a digital coupon now through July 21st. Not hot enough? Get up to 25% off grocery store prices, plus same-day delivery and curbside pickup. Crank the AC and we'll bring it to you. Then fill up with everyday low prices at BJ's Gas. Not a member? Join now for hot savings every day. BJ's, absurdly simple savings.
All right, listen up here, folks. When you're buying a new car, you need a playbook that protects you long after the season ends. And that's why every new car at Albrecht Auto Group comes with the Albrecht Advantage. Get this. It's a 10-year, 150,000-mile limited powertrain warranty backed by Allstate Insurance. So don't get blitzed by those other dealerships. Get Allstate back coverage at Albrecht. And get it without spending an extra dime. Get the Albrecht Advantage and get respect at all 8 Albrecht Auto Group dealerships. Connect at albrechtauto.com and tell them Zoe sent you.
Roofing? Mario's. Siding? Mario's. Windows? Mario's. Skylights? Just call Mario's.
Hi, this is Stephen Goulston, owner of Mario's Quality Roofing, Siding, Windows, and Skylights. Homeowners choose
Back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, I'm Joe Murray. Whew, coming in hot today. I didn't think I was going to have a Patriots take. I'm going to be honest with you. But just some of the money that's been thrown around, and I look at it and say, would the Patriots do this? Would the Patriots actually give one of their players $30 million? That's just a season. Forget what's the guarantee going to be. But it is fair to bring up they don't have a Garrett Wilson. They don't. Now, maybe it's unfair of me to do that, but they've had years to draft somebody and they haven't. They have it. But just listen to some of these cornerbacks in the NFL per year basis. Sauce Gardner is going to get $30.1 million. Derek Stingley, $30. J.C. Horn, $25. Jalen Ramsey, who's been traded twice, still makes $24 million. Patrick Surtain, $24 million. What does this mean for Christian Gonzalez? Would the Patriots give him $25 million? Would they give him 20? That's just, to me, I don't know. But Sauce Gardner reached an agreement, 4-year deal. Ties him into the next 6 seasons through 2030. And it's the same structure in length as Garrett Wilson's deal. And I remember watching Hard Knocks just a couple of years ago, and that was one of the Jets' big flexes was they have both Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson. And they practice against each other every day. They're very competitive. Like, they want to make each other better. They want to make the Jets better. I like this. This to me, it's the Jets. I don't know if it's necessarily a Jets move, but 2 players drafted with success and upside get the same deal. Back-to-back days. Treated the same, like a duo. If you look at the Patriots offensively, they're going to have Drake May and Will Campbell under contract rookie deals for the next 4 or 5 years. Fantastic. I think that's great. I really do. Travion Henderson will probably be here for the next 3 to 4 years under a rookie deal at good money. Like, if you think about their offense, that's pretty good. If Kyler Williams can be something.
That means they had a great draft.
They had a great draft, if that's the case, with Drake May the year before.
Maybe their best draft in a decade.
And who knows? Like, they have a center from Georgia that could start this year. They have a lot of other things. They needed to hit, though. But if you were thinking about it 2 ways, right? Christian Gonzalez is going into his 3rd year. 3rd year. Do the Patriots have a guy going into their 3rd year that you could match up and say, Gonzalez and this guy, the same forever? No. So I at least wanted to lead off with that today. Anything you want to talk about? We'll get into the Caitlin Clark stuff. I do have some thoughts on the the MLB All-Star Game as well. The phone number 617-779-0985. We got Jacob. He's in Burlington. What's going on, Jacob? You're on the Sports Hub.
Hey, what's up? I just want to say quickly about the Patriots. Christian Gonzalez is so much better than Sauce Gardner. So much, but
really?
On Caitlin Clark.
Really?
Yes. I think a majority of people who make money in the NFL would say that, over a vast majority. But on Caitlin Clark, my mom and sister are going to the game. And you would think it's like the second coming of Christ happening in Boston tonight. They're going crazy. They're so excited. It's the biggest thing they've been to in years. But I think it's similar to the way Tiger Woods was treated when he first came up. You know, people didn't like this hot shot coming in, but once they started getting more money for being in second place than they were for getting first place before Tiger Woods was playing, then they loved them. I think the same thing's going to happen to Caitlin Clark. Once there's a new CBA, once they get more money in their pockets, they'll realize that it was a mistake to hit on Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, I like that take. Now, don't get me wrong. I grew up with like Rebecca Lobo and Diana Taurasi and all those great, UConn women of the past, right? When Rebecca Lobo got drafted, I don't think they were, flying in jets and staying in nice hotels or anything like that.
No, I don't think they were.
So I mean, yes, but I will say this, and this has nothing. I want to make this clear. This has nothing to do with politics. There are other good players in the WNBA. Did you know that?
I absolutely know that. I'm a big Nafisa Collier fan.
Thank you. I just wanted. Oh, really?
I do. I love Nafisa Collier. I like Kayla McBuckets, Kayla McBride. I like that Lynx team out in Minnesota.
Asia Wilson, great,
good,
great.
Dealing
player.
with some injuries, can't do it by herself. She needs help.
Yeah, right. And I could keep going, but Alyssa Thomas, as you mentioned, I love Sabrina Ionescu.
Ionescu out there with Stewie, Brianna Stewart. Natasha Cloud feels away because she got snubbed from the All-Star team and then I think proceeded to go out and have 0 points in that next game, which is kind of a tough look. I watch the games, Joe. There are times where I'm watching, I go, I find this more entertaining than the current NBA product. because there's less time in games. You have to find a better shot than just firing threes out of your butt every 10 seconds, which is what the modern NBA has turned into. And I get a reprieve from that that I don't get in college basketball, and I definitely don't get in the NBA when I watch the WNBA.
Just real quick on the women's college basketball is fantastic.
Yep.
It's a great game, down and back, very competitive. You know who the stars are. Generally, it's the other people that make the big plays and make the stars look good, which I think the WNBA feels that way. Like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reed, all these people, they've done the game well. But they've also, say what you want about Caitlin Clark, she takes the abuse on the court at times. People say things about her, and but is it jealousy? Because I think that's what it is at times. And you know what? Maybe she does get the credit when they're just as good. I get it. But this was a star from Iowa that's changed the game, right? Like, she's very polarizing. Don't get me wrong. And now she's a rookie. She's a fan favorite, right? Potentially one of the top scorers. All I'm trying to say is people like Paige Bucher, et cetera, they're big names, right? They're big names. But these are the people that are going to help grow it for everybody else, everyone else that comes from college to move forward. And I just think that Caitlin Clark, she's the poster child of the new generation of WNBA. But she is going to make everybody else a lot more money, too.
It's interesting, and I agree with that sentiment, too. And you can see, I mean, our last caller said, like, I have not seen something like this through my own family going to the game, is people are interested in the individual superstar, which I think is very interesting, because the Indiana Fever last year and this year, Joe, have not been that good. And I know Caitlin Clark has been injured for a portion of this season. They were a 500 basketball team last year. They're hovering around 500 this year. And there is still a lot of coverage that goes into that team because of who their star player is. And if you want to grow the game, you have to get people at home to identify, to want to connect with the stars. And then from there, that's how you start learning. That's how you find interest. And then that is how you grow as a fan. But you have to start somewhere. And if your starting point is Caitlin Clark, it's as good a place as any.
Oh, yeah. And don't get me wrong. Like, Alicia Gray is one of the best players in the league, right? Like, there are some people that average almost 20 points per game. Clark's right about 16. She's a rookie! But there are other stars, and I think at times maybe they do feel a little bit slighted. But you know what? Do something about it.
Skylar Diggins has been playing at a high level for a number of years now. Skylar Diggins does not get the same attention that Kayla Clark does.
Yeah, no, Kayla Thornton, because she's on the West Coast, I don't know what she does, Courtney Williams of Minnesota, like, I'm not watching Lynx games, you know what I mean? But I do collect cards, and I know that a lot of these are big hits, and people are following, though. I know what I got to tell you tonight? Leaving the Garden, I came straight here. I saw a lot of WNBA jerseys, like different teams, not just the Fever.
I'm wondering, well, on that point, I'm wondering if you have a lot of Connecticut fans that do go to these games and go, look, we get to see our team, and granted, the Suns are not having a good season.
Yeah, 3 wins.
To put it very mildly. But they go, we get to see this team. Basically, this is like the biggest stage that we can conveniently make it to from Connecticut. And that is the Garden in Boston. I think you're going to get that kind of attraction. It's an event. Let's treat it like it's an event. Let's put it in the best place that we possibly can in this part of the country.
That's why I mentioned the Savannah Bananas. They're everywhere, right? People love Banana Ball. It's sold out. July 4th weekend.
If they had played at Polar Park, that would have been nice and everything, but you play that at Fenway, and you're watching guys dressed up as firefighters hit home runs. Normal guys hit home runs at Fenway Park. There is something very interesting about that.
Lionel Messi, I watched it last week. Now, granted, he's the only MLS player in history to score 2 goals in 4 straight games, which is, by the way, crazy to me. But he's Lionel Messi, and he's the greatest player on the planet. So I got to watch it. I didn't go to the game, but did I watch? Was he the best player? Absolutely.
Stars are going to make you watch. I'm not a tennis fan. I watched the Alcaraz-Sinner final. I thought that was very interesting. Awesome. I do not watch tennis, but I'm like, this is on. I got nothing better to do. And I had a great time watching it. And I think you're going to get a lot of that tonight where people are going to go, it's this or the All-Star game in MLB. So I'm going to maybe try something new and check out a WNBA game.
The All-Star game, huh?
Yeah, Major League Baseball.
That's tonight?
The best of the best. I learned this today that they're playing it.
So the best of the best
On paper.
are playing.
On paper. I don't know if they, you know how it says like in very small print on your ticket, like card subject to change.
Yeah.
Like it might be something like that.
All right. Well, hey, you and your WNBA jerseys. Feel free to call in 617-779-0985. You know who Dan Lifshitz loves the WNBA.
I bet Dan Lifshitz loves gambling. Everybody says, "Oh, it's so easy."
That'd be a nice, funny shirt. Dan Lifshitz loves
WNBA gambling's kicking my ass. I am not having the same success as Dan Lifshitz is.
All right. Well, I have a thought on the All-Star game. I mentioned the Patriots. Who will the Patriots pay? Will they? I don't know. I don't know, but I think they have to. And you know what? Why not a guy like Christian Gonzalez? Like, why not? Good guy. Good. Granted, there might be some injury stuff there. Might be. You got to become desirable again. You have to become we just talked about Boston becoming a destination for big-time players. The Patriots have a history, right? This giant. They're going to put a statue up for Tom Brady.
That was pretty good.
Better pay their guys. We'll get to the headline here. I'm Joe Murray. We're here till 8 o'clock. Then we'll hand things over to Brendan Glashine. Yeah, the Sheen. Well, the Glash. I call him the Sheen. It depends on who you are. I'm cool with him, so I call him the Sheen. Everyone else calls him the Glash. But we might even hear from him after the game tonight. Did you know that? I reached out to him.
It's news to me.
I told, well, listen, this is us communicating.
In real time.
I need to be better at that. Did you know? I got to be better at communicating.
We can all be better.
No,
you should never settle. You're never too old.
I need to be better
to improve yourself.
You're right. I'm never too old to improve myself. Let's get to the headline here. I have no clue what happened today, so I'll get you caught up.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Well, hey, there's a outside the Garden today, I got to tell you. I got people there right now telling me this is what I just saw from Bird, who's down there. Checking in from the Garden. Men walking with their girlfriends and wives who don't want to be here. I can see defeat in their eyes. I didn't see that when I was down there. I saw people like, hey, where do I go to get a cheeseburger? And I was like, oh, well, you're going to have to go for a little bit of a walk.
Come close, my son.
I was like, this is Star Market with an a la carte downstairs right here. There's Banners if you want. There's a little play upstairs.
Oh, Banners is, right there.
That's right. There's a lot of places. You go to the Porta. Let's get halftime pizza there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of options over there. But I got a lot of Chicagoans today. Chicagoans? Chicagoites? Anyways.
Chicagonians.
There we go.
I made that up. It can't be right. I hope it's not right.
I got a thought on the All-Star game coming up in a bit, but you know who's on the line? It's JP in North Providence. JP, hello, sir.
Joe, I'm back from North Carolina in the house, Joe. Hey, I heard La Maquia Realty's coming on at 8 o'clock to call the show.
La Maquia.
Oh, there you go. Joe, so quick recap. I tried calling in, but you weren't in on the weekend, and I got back late on Saturday. So, Joe, I had a McMurray salad. They took me to this sports bar. They had fishing on one channel, hunting on the other, and I swear to God, fishing on another channel. I go, where's the sports? Nothing. Nothing. One time they switched to some golf scores. But something that you would die for. They had salads there, Joe. I get a Philly cheesesteak salad. So I said, can I make it the way I want? She gives me a look like, oh. I said, yeah, sure. So I said, no mushrooms, extra tomatoes, out on lettuce. You would have thought I asked for the world to get lettuce out of that salad, Joe, but it was fantastic. Something to die for. You'd really like it.
So basically a Philly cheesesteak with mushrooms.
Without mushrooms, it had hot peppers, tomatoes. Right. I took the lettuce out, which was like a controversy. The people with me looked at me like they didn't know me. The ride back, Joe, 17 hours, no problems. I got a Murray's Musing. Route 90, upstate New York. I hit 93. Oh, yeah. I hit 93 coming through at 95, where it hits to get back to Lynn. Hour and a half after driving 17 hours. I need 2 more hours to go, 15 miles Friday on the highway. But it wasn't a bad trip, Joe. And the other thing is apparently Wawa is God down there. That's their Cumberland Farms.
Okay.
So, convenience store, a little bit of everything. Good to be back, though. Good to hear sports,
quick,
Joe.
Any Bill Belichick stuff out there or Jordan?
Nothing. Nobody was talking sports. Honest to God, if I wanted to know how to fix a F-150 truck or something or put a rack on the back of it, I would have been the life of the party. But nothing going on talking sports, nothing.
Well, sounds like
good to be back.
Sounds like the All-Star break, I guess, huh? All right.
It's good to be back. Talking to All-Star break, I want the kid playing center field last night that robbed the home run.
Me too.
Let's get him in the organization. That was outstanding.
In on that. You know what, JP? I'm glad you brought that up. I think there should be more guys like that trying to rob home runs and get incentives.
Have some fun. How cool would that be to adapt the game to? That's kind of like the Savannah, the Bananas playing over there. The kid rips them off. The look on a guy's face. I loved it, Joe.
All right, JP. Appreciate you, buddy. JP went on a trip to North Carolina and
didn't like the lettuce.
Me either. Who wants that?
Well, I mean, you look. That's why people judge you, because it doesn't taste like anything, and they see you pick it off and they go, "Really, really? You can't deal with little lettuce?"
People who want to judge me for what I eat, like think
I
about
wouldn't.
This. No,
but that's what.
Don't
it
you
is.
want to hang out with a guy like me?
Yeah, sure.
No, like
that's why I came in.
No, that is true. Ryan got called in very early, a couple hours ago, and was like, you know what, for Joe, I'll come
anything.
But no, don't you want to hang out with a guy like me?
Sure.
Like, we're gonna hang out. We're gonna get some good food. We're probably gonna do something fun. We're gonna shoot the breeze with some people, right? Mm-hmm. Who knows? Maybe we'll imbibe. I don't know. Joe, right? Street Team Joe, we're always down for something, right? So I look at it and say, you going to judge me for not eating lettuce? You want to hang with me.
I'm not judging you for not eating lettuce. I'm saying that people probably would judge an adult for picking lettuce off of their meal. See, I'm out on tomatoes. Tomatoes, out. I don't want them anywhere near me. I think they're disgusting. I would pick those off and go, yes, you know what? I am a 35-year-old that is picky about vegetables. I don't want them. But they taste gross. Lettuce doesn't taste like anything. It just gets in the way.
Someone just told me Wawa is amazing.
If you're like Philly, PA, like that, I mean, yeah, Cumberland Farms. It's like their regional chain convenience store. It
was 7-Eleven this week. Did you get a free Slurpee at 7-Eleven?
No, I get in and out of the 7-Elevens as fast as possible. Because I'm like, if I linger for 0.2 seconds, 7 guys with scratchies that won $16 on a $15 scratch ticket are going to sit there and just wreck the rest of my money.
I judge them. You mean to tell me that you really need to scratch that ticket after you bought it right there waiting while I'm holding multiple things?
I have multiple beverages and my fingers are going numb.
We could, but I don't know why, but out of the corner of my eye, I can see Street Team Joe staring at the hot dogs rotating at 7-Eleven. Have you done that before? Or the empanadas, or whatever they have?
The one I go to, they got the pizza and the wings.
Yeah, I won't do it. I looks good.
Oh, it looks so good, but it's like I can't.
I watched Bad Boys 3 for the first time the other day. It was a sad movie, but there was a scene about getting the hot dog that was in the thing for a little while. Probably out on that.
Probably might be a little out.
I'm probably out on
store hot dogs.
Big dumper. Did you see that last night? How about this? One of the best players in the league, right, is a catcher who can bat right-handed and left-handed and has a potential to hit 60 home runs this year.
He doesn't even play for one of like the big marquee teams in baseball.
No. I like that his dad pitched. I like that his brother was the catcher. There was some drama at the end. I missed Chris Berman.
Every year misses him.
What could we do? Like kids in the outfield, if they rob a home run, they get like, I don't like. How does it happen?
I think JP kind of touched on it. If those guys would be interested, which they might not, because they could probably stand to get more eyes on them around the country. See if a couple of the Savannah Bananas want to go out there and make like human pyramids and try and rob guys at the wall. Or, do like a chicken fight kind of thing. Or bring the ladders out there like the firefighters do and see if they can steal home runs. They don't care about home runs being hit. I watched Brent Rooker get eliminated on a technicality. He's mad about it, and he should be mad about it because it's total nonsense. But if you want to, basically MLB baseball needs to find as many ways to make the Savannah Bananas a part of their game.
Can I just real quick, I wanted to mention this. A couple of weeks ago, I made reference to how bad Connor Wong has been this year, and he had 0 RBI. And I wanted to look up what Jim Abbott did, the man who had one hand. And I found out that he actually hit, and he had multiple hits with multiple RBI. And I literally couldn't believe that a man with one hand had more RBI than Connor Wong.
It just feels like you're looking for a reason to be mean to Connor Wong.
No, it's not that. I love Jim Abbott. And so last night after the home run derby, they had the Southpaw Jim Abbott story. And
listen
to me. I loved Jim Abbott not because he had one hand. When I first heard of Jim Abbott, he was Golden Spikes Player of the Year at Michigan. He was on Team USA. I want to say I was like 8 or 9. Because in 91, I think he got called up to the Angels. If I recall right, I loved Jim Abbott. I thought he was awesome. And to come to find out that he had one hand and won 18 games in a season, was the number 8 overall pick. Then when he got traded to the Yankees to be a front-end rotation guy, kind of failed, but had a no-hitter. Like, I think about the story, and, he always wanted to be like everybody else. He didn't want to be someone that was known as the guy with one hand. And what happened was a beat writer said that he was an underachiever, and it pissed him off. Right? That guy, calling him an underachiever, I think is crap. But he wanted to be treated like everyone else. He was humbled by it. After that moment, that's when he threw the no-hitter. But just to touch on it, for those who didn't see it yet, it was very inspiring. And little do you know that what he did in the 80s and 90s, he just wanted to be treated equally. There was a lot of people that were born with one hand. There's a lot of people in the world, Shaq Griffin, right? Played football for the Seahawks. There's an MMA fighter with one hand. There's a soccer player with one hand. Like, the amount of people that he influenced, inspired, I don't think he was ready for that. And, I think he just wanted to talk about his career and how he wish he did a little bit better with the Yankees, etc. But, like, come to find out, what an inspiring story and what a great dude. And I always loved him. Man, watching that documentary, I just have a whole different perspective of Jim Abbott.
He got called up in 1989 and got Rookie of the Year votes, but then in 1991, he was third runner-up.
Yep.
For the Cy
you know
Young.
who he lost to?
Roger Clemens.
And Scott Erickson was second.
Erickson, yeah.
But that was those were when you were on teams where sometimes your record, like a Paul Skeens, your record wasn't great, but your ERA, etc.
Wins and losses also factored into it too. I think they weren't looking at it like, I don't know if like that stat line in 2025 would be good for third in baseball or third in. I mean, they were the California Angels.
But again, people will say one-handed pitcher. How about great pitcher? Top first-round pick, Golden Spikes player of the team. Like, he was a big part of the early 90s. And in the game of baseball, like, I was a huge fan. And however many years later, watching that documentary, it was great. And you know who is really big in the documentary?
No, I wish I know.
Wade Boggs.
Wade Boss Hogs?
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea. I might have watched this.
Do you know who else
nothing
was in
else
it?
going on.
A lot of Manny Ramirez, too. Rookie. The team that he no-hit was the Cleveland Indians. Oh, the Cleveland team of that time.
Hitting coach extraordinaire,
Yes.
Manny Ramirez.
All right. Well, this hour of the sports is brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm a little, I don't know what our schedule is, but we are handing things over to Brendan Glashine and the Caitlin Clark game coming up in just a little bit with the Suns. So I don't know exactly what are we doing here? Should we break?
Let's take a break here.
Okay.
We'll come back. We'll say goodbye.
All right.
And then we'll head over to the Garden.
People really want to talk about Wawa. We'll do that next here on the Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
Join 98.5 The Sports Hub in White Claw at the world-famous Cask and Flagon outside the ballpark this Thursday from 3 to 5 to pre-party before the Lumineers show. Plus, enter for a chance to win tickets for the New England home opener in Foxborough. Enjoy this summer with White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Must be 21 plus. No purchase necessary. Rules and restrictions apply.
Clog drain never happens at a good time. John Sewer and Drain Cleaning with over 50 technicians on the road at locations in Woburn and Norwood can be at your location fast. Call John Sewer on call 24/7 since 1976. Visit johnsewer.com. Hey, what's up, It's Zone? Are you ready to create memorable experiences with your friends and family? Then you got to get over to the all-new Launch in North Attleboro. Launch.
Except for Caitlin Clark.
On my other television, I have Ludacris at the Braves game, at the All-Star game. And they're all wearing Braves jerseys. Welcome to Atlanta where the players play. Move. Get out the way. What was the other one that he had?
Area codes?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I like the area codes.
Atlanta. But yes, there's a lot of smoke, a lot of people in uniforms, a lot of high fives. There we go. Let's go back to the section. So we're going to hand things off to our buddy, Brendan Glashine. And his partner.
Tarika Foster Brasby.
There we go.
So we're having fun tonight.
And I just want to shout out to Brendan Glashine. Excellent play-by-play announcer. All right, Ryan, thank you. Street Team Joe, thank you. We'll be on halftime and after the game here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
The home of the Bruins. Patriots lives.
competitive game where Indiana took care of business in the fourth quarter. So why don't we take a quick break? And if you would like to call in and react to tonight's game, the phone number is 617-779-0985. We're here for about 45 minutes or so. So feel free. You're coming home from the game. I want to know what the experience was like tonight. I know there was a little bit of a controversy or fans getting in the way. A lot there. So we'll pause quickly here on 98.5 The Sports. I'm Joe Murray. We'll talk to you guys right after the break.
Boston EVC would like to thank all their new customers for turning to Boston EVC for their home and business electric vehicle charging needs. Appointments are available. To get a custom quote for your home or business, visit bostonevc.com or call 1-833-4BOS-EVC today.
At Northern Spy in Canton, locally sourced ingredients take center stage in a menu inspired by New England tradition. Enjoy lunch, dinner, or weekend brunch on their expansive outdoor patio. With cooking classes, private dining, and a welcoming atmosphere, Northern Spy offers something for everyone. Reserve your table today at northernspycanton.com.
Hey, it's Maz. My friends at Rodenizer Home Services know that you've been counting down to summer. Beach vacations, road trips, and time with loved ones. But a surprise AC breakdown? That expense was not part of the plan. That's why Rodenizer is offering simple, stress-free financing so you don't have to choose between staying cool and the summer plans you've been looking forward to all winter. Keep your summer plans on track with comfort, confidence, and no compromises. Call Rodenizer today to learn more about financing options at rodenizer.com. That's Rodenizer Home Services. Nice people, great service since 1928.
In a world parched for excitement, one drink will emerge. Twisted Tea, the refreshing thrill ride of flavor. Recreating its classic role as the hard iced tea that goes down smooth. Twisted Tea doesn't just taste like real iced tea, it's made with real brewed tea and a 5% kick of alcohol. Taste the adventure with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Hey, it's Felger here, and look, the warm weather's here, and sports season is officially back on. Golf, tennis, hiking, and of course, pickleball. Yeah, pickleball. It's everywhere. And you know what else is everywhere? Injuries. Achilles strains, plantar fasciitis, blown out knees, torn up shoulders. Honestly, it's like half the city forgot they weren't 25 anymore. But here's the good news. Dr. Franke of Boston Prolotherapy is your ticket back to action. Forget surgery and months of downtime. Dr. Franke has helped countless patients recover faster. Weeks instead of months. And yes, I know, you're going to stretch, you're going to warm up, you're going to cool down, but we both know injuries are still going to happen. So when the inevitable does strike, don't tough it out on the sidelines. Call Boston Prolotherapy for a complimentary phone consultation personally with the doc himself. Get stable.
Polarizing figure in Caitlin Clark coming to Boston, and people showed out. So that's my takeaway from tonight. People showed out. Second, it was an interesting game with about, a minute left, not even under a minute left. The Sun kept it close, but Indiana eventually put it away. But my take on Caitlin Clark tonight, people will look at the 14 points that she scored, which was third on the team, right? Kelsey Mitchell had 20, and Natasha Howard, who was the star in the first half, she had 18 points. But Caitlin Clark, although she struggled 4 of 14 from the field and 1 of 7 from 3, she made such an impact on rebounds and assists. She had 8 rebounds tonight, 7 assists, and a steal. Now, she turned the ball over a little bit, but it's because she played 28 minutes and turns the ball. But she was a plus 21 on the night. I think she made a big impact for the team. And, I think she showed out. She wasn't the number one star, but people rallied around her.
I wonder, to the average basketball fan who has some kind of awareness of Caitlin Clark and what she brings to the WNBA, I wonder what they do know about her game. Because I think a lot of people would tell you, she's like Steph Curry. She can pull up from the logo. The net doesn't move from 3. But I think it's the things that you just pointed out, Joe. I think that really make her a dynamic player and an elite player in the WNBA. Her ability to find cutters is uncanny. I don't see anybody else in the WNBA that does it quite like that. And honestly, enough guys don't cut to the NBA, cut to the basket in the NBA for me to actually care. But I think it's those intangibles right there. It's hustling. It's a star player diving on the ground, getting in people's faces, and trying to keep the energy up. That highlight was very early in the game, and Caitlin Clark was kind of ready for, I guess, whatever. And the Indiana Fever were ready for whatever this crowd was going to bring, despite the fact that it probably was more, I can't say it was an Indiana Fever crowd. I think it was like a Caitlin Clark crowd.
Interesting.
Is the best way I can put it.
I was there earlier, and I felt it's just a basketball crowd, but supporters of WNBA.
It was loud. It was.
Oh yeah, the broadcast
incredibly loud.
Credit to our guys down there. I know Tyler. Shout out to Tyler Knudsen, who was down there tonight. Was Jeremy there?
I don't know.
But they obviously executive producer and big part of getting this thing together here, but it sounded great. And listen, I don't want to kiss the ass of our guys like Dennis Knudsen, et cetera, but by the way, the games that we have the best sound people. Football games, those booms on the sideline, man, we can hear everything. So
I don't disagree.
I thought it sounded tremendous.
But it felt like very early on. It felt, and I made this remark to Brendan when earlier when we were off the air. It sounded like a playoff game. It had that kind of vibe to it that people were just really excited for whatever was going to happen. And I think it's kind of odd in this city specifically, where you have people showing out for an event like this and not actually having a rooting interest in the home team, which you think would be the Connecticut Sun. But I think there were just as many people there, if not more, that were very curious to see, what does Caitlin Clark look like in person? What does this Indiana Fever team look like in person?
I'm curious what people think. Feel free to call in on it. 617-779-0985. We're going to hear from Brendan Glashine coming up in a little bit. So he called the game tonight. I want to know his thoughts. Just a couple of other notes outside of the WNBA. Jaylen Brown was in the house tonight. Guess who he sat with? George Niang.
I was going to say the other Celtic that was there, the G-Wagon.
If you remember, they got into a little bit of a thing on the sideline, but they do work out together. So Jaylen has a friend on the team. Well, now that Porzingis is gone.
Hey, nobody thought that Brad Marchand would ever be able to coexist with any of those Panthers, and look at them now. I think those two will be just fine.
You're absolutely right. So, yeah, that was it. I'm trying to think of what else. Curious who else was in the house tonight. We'll get an update on that coming up.
You mentioned Portnoy. I think Portnoy is like doing the Grateful Dead bus, just following Caitlin Clark wherever she goes.
If you had a choice, WNBA or Coldplay?
Oh, WNBA.
Me too.
I don't even need to think about it.
Me too.
I love live music. I don't know what kind of time I would have sitting through a Coldplay show. I was going to go to this game tonight, But, when duty calls, I gotta come in here and hold the place up. So I got to produce the game instead of attend it. But I would absolutely choose this WNBA game over a Coldplay concert.
All right, dude. Well, why don't we get a headline here, right? Do we have headlines?
Yeah, we got headlines.
The previous hour has been brought to us by John Sewer Drain Cleaning, keeping drains flowing for homes and businesses in the greater Boston area. Since 1976, go to johnsewer.com. Let's get you caught up. The All-Star Game's getting interesting. I have a take on who the MVP could be. A little different than
I
you might
eagerly
think.
await because I don't think I've caught more than 5 seconds of the game.
A lot of homers, baby, homers.
Saw Corbin Carroll taking a walk.
That's right.
Taking a trot.
Let's hit the headline here. We'll get you caught up in all the scores happening in the sports world.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, the WNBA game in the books. The Fever got an 85-77 win over the Sun. Caitlin Clark did it all tonight. 14 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Did have a steal in this one. She was a plus 21, but Kelsey Mitchell led the way for the Fever. For the Sun, who really competed in this one, Tina Charles had 21 points. The MLB All-Star Game underway right now. Scoring is happening. The National League has a 6-4 lead at the moment. Paul Skeens got the start. He struck out 2. Many other pitchers in this one tonight, but Ketel Marte with a double in this one. Pete Alonso went deep. Corbin Carroll went deep. Mr. Rooker went deep as well in this one. Right now, 6-4, top of the 7th inning. National League. And Sauce Gardner's getting paid. 4 years, $100 million, $30 million a year. Trey, my boy Trey from the Chiefs, also getting paid. Trey Smith, 4 years, $94 million. He's my boy. Headlines, they are brought to you by Celsius Energy Drinks. Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients. I'm Joe Murray.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sport.
All right, back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, I'm Joe Murray. We'll react to the All-Star game in Major League Baseball. Get a take on who the MVP should be, depending on how this thing shapes up. It's getting a little close. We just had WNBA basketball on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever defeated Connecticut Sun tonight, 85-77. And, well, joining us right now is the voice of the Connecticut Sun. We called the game tonight here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. It's Brendan Glashine. Brendan, how you doing?
Joe, what's going on, man? Here at the Garden still. It was a fun night. Night.
All right, man. So I was there early in the day. There was a lot going on there. There was, people in the streets, WNBA jerseys. There was a block party. There was a lot going on. But did you feel a different vibe tonight? And this is now the second event for the WNBA, I believe. I think this is a big draw, man.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, last year I called into your show and right after the game in August when they played the Sparks, and I was blown away because it wasn't just like a corporate sellout crowd. It was a legitimate, dug-in crowd, and I think you and I both shared the same takeaway last year that Boston loves its basketball, and the momentum of the Celtics, I think, plays a big part, but also a chance to get some outreach here in New England. But being in the seat that Grandy and Max sit in, so a different vantage point, other than being courtside. And I say that because you can look around and see the flooding of fans, a lot of Fever fans. There was a good amount of Sun fans here too. But, it felt a little bit different. This crowd, I think, having last year under their belt, and they also knew this year was a tough ticket to get, right? Like I heard Maz earlier today being like, I tried to get tickets a few days ago, but way too expensive. The building was already sold out. Definitely felt an extra boost in the event here tonight, and it was a terrific basketball game. So I think the fans got a really excellent product. That was a high-scoring first quarter, really well played. Execution offensively was really solid, and then it got close, and Clark had her moments where she kind of took over the game with her passing, hit 1-3 in the second half. But, definitely felt a little bit different, but I mean that in a very positive way.
Yeah, I wanted to mention Caitlin Clark, although maybe she didn't light up the stat sheet with points. She did a lot of other things that should not go unnoticed, right? 8 rebounds, the assists. Now, her turnovers, I think, were a little high, and that's probably why people think at times maybe she's not ready or the injuries, whatever. But I thought she had an excellent night. It could have been better, but we're talking about a rookie in the WNBA. Although she's a huge star, I still think she's, open to make mistakes.
Yeah, I think she's very comfortable with she allows the game to kind of play out, and she will make the play based on what the game needs on any given trip, right? So, in transition, she will have no issue whatsoever hoisting up a three-pointer, but she garners so much attention. That's why she gets picked up at three-quarters, quarter, half court, because
And I just want to make clear, it's second year, Brendan. I know I said rookie, but she's still,
No, I hear you.
She's still a young player, all right?
Yeah, right. I hear you. I mean, there's when she hoists up a three-pointer, it's not the WNBA three-point line is 22 feet. So and when you go look at a box score, most of her three-pointers are from 28 feet or 31 or 32 feet. So put that in perspective. That's why she's defended the way she's defended. But her ability to dribble and kind of read defenses and make the right play, she was a plus 21 tonight in 25 minutes. She had the best plus-minus of anybody. So I think that's a stat a lot of basketball folks look at and say, okay, that literally means when you're on the floor, how is your team? How productive is your team? And clearly, Stephanie White, who's the head coach of the Fever, they're still being very intentional about their substitutions because she is coming back from a groin, which, as we know in Boston, the groin injury thing is no joke because you know what the groin could sometimes lead to, which could be something catastrophic. And, of course, the Fever have aspirations of being a contender. They want to try and win playoff series this year. She's still box office. Her passing, she had 4 assists in the first 4 minutes of the game. But, yeah, she's box office, and she lit it up. I mean, she was feisty on the glass today. I thought her rebounding was outstanding. But I think what also it helps, too, is Clark allows new fans in the league to learn about Kelsey Mitchell, to learn about Aaliyah Boston, to learn about, Natasha Howard's been in the league for a decade, and she went for a double-double. She was a monster. So Clark feeds everybody, and it lifts I know it's lifting the league in terms of the attention and whatnot, but also on the floor, she lifts the individual performances of her teammates.
Brendan Glashine called the game tonight here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. What happened tonight with the fan on the court that got ejected? The energy was there clearly, but what happened?
Yeah, so we were, as you know, we were in the radio spot where Grandy and Max would sit. So there was a challenge. We went to a commercial break. There was a coach's challenge by the Sun for an out of bounds play, and Connecticut won the challenge, and there was some extracurricular going on, but it seemed Connecticut rookie, she played at NC State, 8th overall pick of the draft, Sanaya Rivers, was having a conversation with somebody down there, and we're just kind of going off the monitor that had the ESPN broadcast, and I've heard two things. I've heard the fan said something to Sanaya Rivers. I also heard that there was some physical contact. I don't know which one is true. I've heard both from multiple people with the communications team, with the WNBA, with the Sun, with the Fever. So I don't know exactly what happened, but I think it's going to be investigated, and they're going to try and get to the bottom of it. But, I would just say, here's my take on that. And Tarika Foster-Brasby, who did the analyst work tonight, and Tarika's covered the league for a long time, I think she was spot on. Like, good for the folks here at the Garden for taking care of that. And it would happen in an NBA game, too. If someone was out of line, if someone was at Fenway Park and they were out of line, you'd get them the hell out of there. And that happened early in the game in the first half. And Rivers is one of those players that really engages with the crowd in a very positive way. She has glowing reviews of Caitlin Clark. They played against each other in college. Rivers has always been super complimentary of her. So I don't think it was Rivers looking for a way to start a skirmish. But the fan, I don't know what the fan said. I don't know what the fan did, but I've heard there was possibly contact. There was also something that the fan said. So I don't know exactly. As you were saying with Felger the other day, Joe, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, boy. Well, Brendan, what's your final take, man? I know you mentioned that people love basketball in Boston, but I thought it was a good game. Just for those that care, it was a 15-point spread, and the Connecticut Sun did exactly what everybody wanted tonight for those who are on that side. They're a struggling team, Brendan, right? 3 wins, but
yeah.
Is there just what's going on with the Sun? Is the ownership? Is it what's going on there? And what do you see the future being for the Connecticut Sun?
Okay, a couple things there. So murky, right? So they lost their entire starting 5 from last year's team. Free agency, trades, tough market to get players to want to stay because they don't have the kind of resources like the Las Vegas Aces and the Davis family or Joe Tsai and the New York Liberty. You're seeing teams now around the league. The Indiana Fever, Dallas Wings just got Paige Beckers. They're investing in building brand new practice facilities. They're investing in the product, right? And that's the criticism of the Mohegan Tribe is you make a lot of money from the casino and all the events you have, not just the Sun. The Sun do really well no matter who comes to the building, whether it's Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers, Brianna Stewart, Afisa Collier, it doesn't matter. So they're doing people are still going to games. It's a good take. They do embrace the team. On the court, they are playing better, but it's a very young group. It's a first-year head coach. There are 8 new head coaches in the WNBA this year. 8. You're seeing the rise in popularity and access to women's college basketball. Also, like the NBA, the WNBA has an overseas component. The point guard for the Sun who played tonight, Layla Lacan, she's 21 years old. She played in France. She was on the Olympic team that almost beat the United States last year. You're seeing young stars globally coming into the league. So here's my take on Connecticut. I think they've proven with this event that I think Boston could absolutely have a team, and people would care, and people would show out. Joe, if you look at the Golden State franchise that just got into the league this year, the Golden State Valkyries, they bang out the building every single night, and that's an expansion team. They don't have a single notable star. They don't have a Beckers. They don't have a Clark. They don't have a star. It's a bunch of expansion players, and they signed a free agent whose prime is behind her in Tiffany Hayes. And you see what the Warriors have meant. You see what the Warriors have meant to that market, what Steph Curry has meant to that market. I think Boston, the way the momentum with the Celtics, I would argue right now, I think you'd agree with this, the Celtics are like the most popular team of the 4 major teams here. Basketball's got a lot of momentum in the city, and I really think that Boston would thrive here as a market. I've heard that back and forth. I heard the shows today, like, would Boston work as a market? I really think it would.
He's Brendan Glashine, everybody. Do you think the rest of the league is still upset with Caitlin Clark?
No, I really don't. Upset's too strong. I think jealousy is like a weird word to throw around. I think there's an element of, like, now people give a rip about our league. But Caitlin on the court, in between the lines, is a cocky player. She knows how good she is. Notice when she brings the ball up, she extends her arm a little bit to create separation. I said this earlier. If you shoot 35-foot three-pointers, that's never really been done before in the WNBA, whether they go in or not. That garners a different sort of game plan to defend her. The WNBA is also, unlike the men, the women aren't very vertical, right? It's not a game where you're throwing down dunks and the athleticism is not the same, right? So it's a very horizontal game, and that's why physicality is more allowed in this league than it would be in the men. And credit to these women, they care about the regular season. They dig in the regular season. So I think it's really cooled off since last year. I think there was a handful of moments where I thought, come on, guys, like, lay off her. But I think Caitlin Clark, at the end of the day, likes the challenge. She's got that sort of psycho mentality that, like, Tom Brady had that, right? Like, that psycho mentality, like, she wants everybody's best shot. And I think the growth of the game from this year's particular rookie class, like Becker's, for example, I think it's all kind of cooled off. And I think now the commentary just needs to be about the basketball. And I think Caitlin Clark is okay with that. Because the funny thing is, I hear so much commentary, but I never hear Caitlin Clark ever really complain about it. She will complain about officiating, because who doesn't complain about officiating? But other than that, I think she's a fan of the league, and she kind of knew what she was getting herself into. So I think it's all kind of a smokescreen now. So
all right, Glash, when's the next game for you?
We are heading to the All-Star break, so I am going out in the town tonight, and we're back at it next Thursday night when the Sun play the LA Sparks at Mohegan Sun next Thursday.
All right, Glash, great job tonight, man. You sounded awesome. The broadcast sounded great. Continue to keep up the great work. The WNBA rules here in Boston.
All right, Joe. Thanks so much. And thanks to Ryan as well. You guys were great.
Yep,
Thank you.
Ryan was excellent. Thanks, Brendan. Yep. You were excellent, Ryan. Did a great job.
I can't disagree.
You know? Cutting up highlights for WNBA. I mean, you could put that on your resume now.
There have been two Connecticut Sun games in Boston. I've produced half of them on the radio.
So now I'm going to say that I am a multimedia host of 6 different major sports.
Do you think that could ever happen? What you asked Brendan about? Could you see a world where, I don't know if it's the Sun, I don't know if they ever move out of Connecticut, but the WNBA is trying to take advantage of the, no pun intended, the fever around their sport right now. They're expanding like crazy. Boston seems to make all the sense in the world.
You know what my take is?
What is it?
I hope Steve Paliuca buys it, then brings it to Boston.
Buys the Sun.
Gets an arena, and then says to the Celtics, you guys want to play here? Pay me.
Pay up. Have one. Build. Encore's been looking to.
Encore Arena, baby. Maybe it could be a basketball and soccer arena?
Very possible. Very possible. We were talking about it off the air, but I want to see a Boston WNBA team go head-to-head with the Boston Red Sox. Now, WNBA has far fewer games than the NBA, and definitely way fewer games than MLB does. But those, Thursday night, Friday night, you got Red Sox, whoever, and the Boston whatever taking on the Indiana Fever or the New York Liberty. I would be very interested to see who does better. Because I agree with a lot of what Brandon was saying. I think basketball is still very prevalent in this town, and in the summertime, especially if the Red Sox, hypothetically, the Red Sox aren't that good, Joe, I think there would be a great appetite for more basketball during the summer. Like actual basketball, not this summer league junk I keep seeing on TV.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, we'll wrap this thing up here on the other side. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
All right, wrapping things up here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Just a programming note, I am not here tomorrow night. I'll be doing Felger and Maz tomorrow, 2 to 6. I'm sure we'll react to this. And then I'm back here on Thursday night. And I think we have a full show. I don't even know. But I will be here Thursday night.
We have the Revs tomorrow. Full show Thursday.
Oh, Revs tomorrow. So, wow.
It turns out there's a whole bunch going on in summer.
Yeah.
I think it's been summer.
I think we are all awaiting football season, huh?
Not me.
No?
Not I.
No?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm a summer guy.
Well, my opening take tonight was, now that Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson have contracts, extensions, do the Patriots have that? No. They got one, and will they even pay that guy? Real quick, before we get out of here, the All-Star Game's ongoing. It's 6-4 right now. It was a 6-0 lead for the National League. Pete Alonso went deep. Marte had that RBI double. He's the kid that, remember he got taunted for his mom's death?
Is this Cattell in Arizona? Yeah.
So,
excellent ball player.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little bit of, compassion for that.
I think so.
Skeens was great. Corbin Carroll went deep, right? Hey, let's see what the American League can do. How many have they won now in a row? We got to get out of here, everybody. Awesome job tonight, Ryan. Thank you, and fill-in work. You did great. Street Team Joe's here, still somewhere.
I haven't seen him for about
an hour for a while. I think he's cutting up video. Hey, everybody. Thank you. I'm back tomorrow. Felger Mazin back here on Thursday night. Talk to you guys then. I'm out.
Studios. It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy.